everywhere in them. Everybody, get your victuals. We are about to engage on a journey. On the second day of that our retreat, in the night, when I wanted to sleep, the angel of the Lord came and sat by my bedpost like this and began to tell me things. Just sat by my bedpost like this. It was not fierce. It was just like somebody that is gentle. Just sat. He began to speak to me. There is no physical evidence. But I feel like a man that his responsibility has become 10 times more. Brothers and sisters, and the generation that the hand of God is coming upon, let's get victuals. The journey is great. God will begin to put his hands, obviously, on a group of people, set of people. Are you seeing it now? It will not just be, it will touch everywhere. Both in the church, both everywhere. You will see it manifest in several spheres. But it is a product of a spiritual thing that God initiated. Are you getting what I'm saying? May you not find out when you are now on the journey that you needed to gather victuals that will sustain you in that journey. Say, help me, Jesus.
Help me, Jesus.
When the man spoke about the victuals, that he spoke, it occurred to me that this thing we are doing is a serious matter. It's a matter of life and death. It's a matter of the purpose of God tied to you. If you don't gather victuals, you have totally planned to fail. No matter the calling that you have, a man without victuals is like a victim to Satan. Because along the line, you will look for something to sustain that is not coming from God. It is that time that you look for something to sustain that is not sourced from God, that Satan will now manifest himself and give you something. Are you getting the point? There is always an advertisement from Satan to sustain a man on a spiritual adventure. Whereas God's plan is that all victuals should come from him, and all victuals should be prior to the journey. Are you getting the point? Show me chapter 11 of this. I want to prove it to you. I hope I'm correct. I hope I'm correct. Me, Holy Ghost. I'm looking for when they were chapter 9. And it came to pass when all the kings were on this side of Jordan, in the hills, in the valleys, and in all the coasts of the great sea over against Lebanon, the Hittite. Remember where he told them about Lebanon that time? You remember, am I correct? The Hittite and the Amorite and the Canaanite and the Perizzite and the Hivite and the Jebusite. When I was small, I used to be amazed with all these sites. How many of you? Jebusite heard thereof. Next verse. That they gathered themselves together to fight with Joshua and with Israel with one accord. Next verse. And when the inhabitants of Gibeon heard that Joshua had, what Joshua had done, the inhabitants of who? Heard what Joshua had done unto Jericho and to Ai. Next verse. They did walk willingly, or craftily, or subtly, and went and made as if they had been ambassadors, and took old sacks upon their asses, and wine bottles. What? Old. Wine bottles. What? Old. You see the craft of Satan. You are going to cry after this meeting. You see, Satan has plan for you that you are not aware of. He has planned to serve you a meal that is different from what God ordained for your journey, simply because you went on the way and the victuals that you accumulated for your journey could no more sustain you. You looked around searching for something and Satan handed you one. When you looked around, it looks as if it's something you needed, because the sack that brought it was old. And took old sacks upon their asses, and wine bottles. What? And rent, that is torn, and bound up, that is they sewed it up. Next verse. And what? I didn't hear you. And what? And clouted upon their feet, and old what? Upon them. And all the bread of their provision was what? These guys are crafty. You need to pray. Is either you get something that will sustain you. Satan is watching you. He knows you are not serious in gathering meal for your journey. He is waiting till the one you gather finish. He heard you came to Newe, right? You are not the only one. You even wrote it on Facebook. We are going to Newe now to grab. He is waiting for you as you went to Newe. As they are gathering bread, you just buy 2 and leave. They said, in 3 months, this bread will finish. Let's not tell this man that his victual has finished. Let's supply him the fake. Because if he knows that it has finished, he might be willing to sack him back to pay another price. Let's give him the fake to sustain him for long enough for him to live in the illusion that all is well. Once a man is trapped in an illusion that is deluded, that kind of man will think that his error and failure, his fallen state, is actually correct. Say after me, Lord.
Lord.
Victuals. Say after me, Lord. Victuals. Say after me, Lord. Provisions. Say after me, Lord. Provisions for the journey. Their provision and all bread of their what? Provision. All bread of their what? I didn't hear you. All bread of their. I thought God will appear here and tell them, hey, this bread, these people are not, they are deceiving you. Verse 12, he said, everybody eat now. For 3 days they were eating. He told them in 3 days they will cross Jordan. These men and these nations they were meeting is after Jordan. But before Jordan, God have seen what can sustain. And he told them eat. He gave them 3 good days to eat. 3 good days to what? Gather victuals. Let's see the next verse. And they went to Joshua unto the camp at Gilgal, and said unto him and to the men of Israel, we be come from a far country. Now therefore make ye a league with what? With us. Listen, a man that did not gather enough victual for the journey will make a league with Satan. It's only a matter of time. Satan does not most times totally want to take over. He just wants to have some profit. He wants a little partnership. He knows you have not gathered enough to survive. So he waits. He waits till you flounder. Listen. One confidence a man that has eaten enough victual has is when, sometimes things shake. Are you getting the point? Satan, and when I say Satan, I hope you know that Satan walks through men. When I say Satan, I hope you know he walks through men. Sometimes he can walk through your parents, he can walk through anybody. Huh? The reason why Satan push sometimes is for you to fall into his hands. Listen. Are you getting what I'm saying? Are you getting what I'm saying? If Satan steer trouble for you, there are two possible reactions as of that moment, or you can add three. Number one is either the trouble swallows you, or if you have eaten enough victuals, you survive. Or the easy way out